The lights of Europe are going out, not by foreign invasion alone, but by the slow surrender of its own ruling class. What was once the cradle of Western civilization now stands uncertain, fractured, and ashamed of its own past. We were told this would bring enrichment. Instead, we see parallel societies, collapsing trust, and the quiet erasure of a culture that built cathedrals, wrote the law, and lit the world with reason. Today I speak plainly about what few dare name. Europe is not dying from fate. It is being dismantled by choice. Bad politicians, weak leaders, and a deliberate refusal to protect what our ancestors built have opened the gates to mass immigration from cultures and religions fundamentally incompatible with the European soul. This is not progress. This is civilizational suicide. Look at Rome, study the Stoics. Face reality without delusion. That is where we begin. Rome did not fall in a single day. It rotted from within long before the final sack. Corrupt senators, bread and circuses to pacify the people, and the slow dilution of Roman identity through uncontrolled migration from frontier tribes. The emperors who followed the Antonines lacked the virtue and the will to defend the core. They invited in the very forces that would later dismantle the empire. Marcus Aurelius himself understood the fragility of order. A civilization is only as strong as the character of its people and the clarity of its borders. Today, Europe repeats the same era with greater arrogance. Our politicians have replaced the Roman concept of pietas, duty to gods, family, and fatherland, with a hollow religion of guilt and open borders. They have traded the hard-earned inheritance of Christendom and classical antiquity for the applause of globalist salons. The politicians are not merely incompetent. Many are actively hostile to the historic European peoples. They import millions from regions where Sharia, tribal loyalty, and anti-Western resentment form the cultural bedrock. Then they act surprised when parallel societies form, crime rises, and social trust collapses. Machiavelli would have seen this clearly. A prince who cannot secure his own realm is no prince at all. He is a servant of foreign interests or a coward hiding behind slogans. Catholic tradition teaches subsidiarity and ordered charity, not the self-destruction of your own house to prove your virtue. The elites live in gated communities and send their children to private schools. The working man watches his neighborhood transform, his daughter harassed, his history demonized. This is not compassion. This is betrayal. True strength requires discernment. Not every culture is compatible. Not every religion can coexist peacefully within a post-Christian secular order without domination or fracture. The West was built on Greek reason, Roman law, and Christian conscience. These are not universal defaults. They are hard-won achievements that must be defended. Stoicism demands we face reality without delusion. The data from Sweden, France, Germany, and Britain shows rising violence, grooming gangs, no-go zones, and birth rate collapse among native Europeans. We are told to ignore our lying eyes. The ancients would call this madness. A civilization that will not name its enemies cannot survive them. A people that feels shame for its own existence has already begun to disappear. I speak to you directly now. If you're a young man watching this in Europe or of European descent, understand this. The fortress is within. Your blood carries the memory of Rome, of the cathedrals, of the Enlightenment built on classical foundations. Do not let them convince you that inheritance is a curse. Build your body. Sharpen your mind. Reject the guilt. Study the ancients. Form brotherhoods of serious men. Have children. Speak the truth even when your voice shakes. The sun rises unconquered. So must we. Europe does not need more apologies. It needs men who remember who they are. The decline is real, but it is not inevitable for those who choose to stand. Reclaim discipline. Reclaim beauty. Reclaim the West. The choice is still yours.